Yo, wagwan my people, this is your Captain Murky Aviation here, and welcome to another trip report. And today, I'm so excited to document this trip report where I flew on EasyJet for the very first time. This is going to be another low-cost carrier that I'm so excited to fly on, as I am curious to see what it's like, flying with them, as I've heard some good and bad news about it according to TripAdvisor and other sources online. I even called my mother and asked what it was like flying with them in the past, and she said it was a decently good airline to fly on. So I'm going to determine whether EasyJet is worth flying or not. So without further ado, let's actually begin at airside. Here is the departures board showing various flights out of the single terminal. Here is my flight, which will be EasyJet flight 430, taking me up to Glasgow at a departure time of 16:35 or 25 minutes to 5. My flight will be departing at gates 1 to 120, so without further ado, let's head on a 3-minute walk up there so we can catch some nice views of some aircrafts landing or departing. My ride for this flight will be a 15-year-old Airbus A319 registered as Golf Echo Zulu Delta Alpha, who had its first flight on the 12th of February 2008 and was delivered 9 days later on the 21st of February. I won't lie, it's been a minute since I've been on an A319. The last few times I've flown in this aircraft was back in 2017 with British Airways and 2009 with British Midland, which both of them took me back from Heathrow to Dublin at the time. Now this aircraft has the old seats featured inside, so I'm curious to see what these seats are made of in 2023. So without further ado, let's get straight into boarding the aircraft, which I do have to admit was a slow start, as there was a problem with the scanner. So instead, the gate agent had to read our booking reference numbers off our boarding passes, which I do imagine is a pain to deal with. After persevering through the queues, it is time for me to finally make my way out towards the apron to get some views of this beautiful aircraft. After tapping the fuselage and greeting the cabin crew, it is time for me to get inside and take a look at the old cabin shown in a 3-3 configuration. My seat is 22 Alpha, where I'll be getting a perfectly aligned view of the wing. First impressions, the legroom is on the cramped side, especially when stretched out, where you can see that there is very little room to work with in terms of comfort. You also got a tray table which is unadjustable, as well as the safety card shown on the front and on the back. Next, there's an Inflight Magazine, which we will take a look at later on during this flight. And finally, a sick bag for anyone who has motion sickness or general sickness. Beside me, we have a very restricted armrest, and testing the comfort of this seat, you can see that there is very little padding going on there. I mean, it is something that I can be able to get by on a 45-minute flight. Above my head there is an air vent, as well as a reading light and a cabin crew call button. Right, so that's pretty much it from the seat tour. I'm going to leave you guys with the captain announcement, the pushback, departure out of the runway, as well as the cinematics. So yeah, I'll see you a lot in the air.
At the moment, just making sure that everyone's on board, finalize the paperwork. A little bit of a slow handling up at the gate today due to scanners going down, but hopefully we have everyone on board and we'll be on our way in a few minutes time for a fairly short flight up north. Looking at something in the region of 45 to 50 minutes today, a little bit depending on traffic intensity, in towards Glasgow later on. I'm going to fly up there and we're taxiing out to the southeasterly runway here in Birmingham. After takeoff, an early left-hand turn will take us back up towards Manchester and Carlisle on the borders, and then up over Lanarkshire towards Glasgow, landing in the northeasterly direction. Nice conditions en route, and that goes for Glasgow as well. Just a bit of a breeze coming in from the northeast at the moment. Clear skies and temperature of 22 degrees.
Including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace.
Alright, so meal service has begun, so it's time for me to show you what I got. So we have a southern fried chicken wrap, as well as shortbread biscuits, and finally a burger. Let's dig in. Alright, so let's take a look at the Inflight Magazine. So yeah, it's nothing too crazy. If you want, you can feel free to pause and take a look at the items there. But yeah, most of the stuff you could possibly get them from a local supermarket. So yeah, flickering through the pages, you can see that there is so much variety and the pricing is very reasonable that you can't really complain about it. Alright, so that's pretty much it of taking a look at the Inflight Magazine. Time to stow it away and get ourselves ready for our descent down to Glasgow. And meanwhile I do that, I'm going to send you over to the cinematics and I'll see you lot after touchdown. Alright, so we have landed at Glasgow with a flight time of 45 minutes, which means it is time to give my honest thoughts about this flight. Alright, so starting off with the staff friendliness, I do have to say that they were very friendly, they showed professionalism, and they were showing a lot of hospitality within their jobs, which is what I like to see. I like the fact that this airline still provides us with in-flight magazines as queer fungus. Yeah, they're taking the next step of moving away from them, as opposed of us to download them online, which is a pain in the behind. But when it comes to Ryanair, you know, Ryanair still does it. It really depends on what airline it is, what subsidiary airline you're flying on. If it's Buzz or Malta Air, they will still provide us with in-flight magazines. But Ryanair itself, you have to download it online, which is also, again, a pain in the behind. The cleanliness is 10/10. Everywhere I see, there is literally no mess, and that is what I admire about EasyJet and the team, the crew, everyone. They just care about cleaning up the plane, making sure the plane is kept clean at all times. No dirt, no rubbish on the floor, no nonsense. Do you get what I'm saying? Alright, the one thing that I'm not really much of a fan of are the seats. Granted, they are old, but they are cramped. So yeah, I mean, if you're taller than 5'8", which is my height, you're better off taking the emergency exits. The one thing I forgot to do on this flight is the loo review, which is no big deal because there were many passengers using the toilet, as well as the fact that it's 45 minutes. I wouldn't have the time to be able to try out the loo anyway. So yeah, overall the flight is a 7.5 out of 10.
I love
you. Bye. Bye.
Alright, so that's pretty much it from this video. I hope you guys enjoyed so far, and if you have reached the end of this video, please do not forget to like this video, right, and slam the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and yeah, take care.